That's good. YouTube. Make sure we're up and running. Got that going. Tickers up. Yep. Names up. Go to YouTube and see what we're working with. My channel. Okay, we good. We good. Second round starts in an hour. I know this is gonna be kind of quick. I'm just gonna go through all 32 picks and just give you my 2 cents on the picks and whether I think they were good or bad or whatever. And again, today a bunch of Ravens YouTubers will be together going through this second round. So I appreciate you coming through. This kind of like the pre-show to the pre-show on my end, but the rest of us will be on Sonny or Joe's channel in about an hour. So just to get this started, I'm gonna go through, each pick and kind of talk a little bit about them. Let's see if I can share my screen. Screen 2. There we go. All right, move this mouse over here and we can roll with it. If I can find my mouse with my eyes. There you go. All right. First pick of the draft, Cincinnati Bengals took Joe Burrow. And it's not much to say about it. Joe set all kinds of records at LSU. Probably statistically, the best quarterback to go down in LSU, in college football. Statistically, he had a ton of weapons too. But he had a guy with 18 touchdowns, a guy with 20 touchdowns. Clyde had, I think, 1,000+ yards. He just had weapons upon top of weapons upon top of weapons. So it's, number one pick to me was hands down easy. Ohio kid going back to Ohio to play for the Bengals. I think number 2 was pretty cut and dry also. Chase Young, probably the best defensive player in the draft. Him and Isaiah Simmons sitting there, probably the 2 top defensive players in the draft. Went to Washington. They have a need for it. I think pairing him with I think Washington got Montez Sweat, and that's going to be a formidable duo for a while if both can live up to their potential, because both can get after the quarterback. Can they hold up stopping the run, though? That's some key. Can they hold up stopping the run? All right. With the third pick, this is kind of where the draft really started at. Jeff Okudah was taken by the Lions. The Lions lost Darius Big Play Slay, so they kind of need somebody to anchor that back end, that secondary. And Okudah is the best man coverage guy in the draft. The Lions, that is, their head coach is Patricia, however you say it, that used to be at New England. So he's a defensive mind, and he's going to be able to take Okudah, put him on a guy, and then worry about the other 10 guys on offense. Going to pick number 4. Andrew Thomas. Andrew Thomas kind of paved the way for DeAndre Swift to get a lot of the yards he got. And so with that being said, the Giants picked him up so they can kind of pave the way for Saquon Barkley to get a bunch of yards and also protect their young quarterback, Daniel. What's Daniel's last name? Is it Jones for the Giants? I think the quarterback is Daniel Jones. But he's a good run blocker, okay pass blocker. But you're going to hand the ball off to Saquon a lot. So you need somebody out there that's going to be out there to pave the road for Saquon. And it's a good pick. So really, to me, no bad picks, no head scratchers yet. Everything makes sense so far. Moving on, number 5. This still makes sense for him. Tua Tagovailoa. The Dolphins picked him up. They need a quarterback. After Tua, they still had 13 more picks. So to me, this makes sense. I think he's just as good as Joe Burrow. He's a heady kid. The hip injury is the main concern. But if he's healthy, this is a great pickup for Miami. I think he's going to be a pro for a long time because he just when watching him, His pocket presence is so good. He makes little subtle moves to avoid guys and still turns and delivers the ball. He don't get out of there and cut and run. Even though he's not a runner anyway, but he just make little subtle shoulder turns or side steps and then steps up and throws the ball down the field. And for the most part, it's pretty darn accurate. For the most part, pretty darn accurate. Moving on to number 6. To me, this is where the head scratching come in. But the Chargers need a QB. They lost Phillip Rivers. They got Tyrod Taylor. I think Tyrod is good, but they need a backup. They need a backup. And I don't think this dude comes in and competes for the job. I think it's Tyrod's to lose. But this is your number 6 pick. This is your number 6 pick. It's crazy that he jumped up that high. It's Justin Herbert. Now, if you watch Coleman's video, he was inconsistent. But the last game you see him play, he did pretty darn good against Wisconsin in the Rose Bowl. He ran the ball okay. Probably ran it more than he's going to run in the NFL. But he delivered some passes down the field that were good. So it's not a bad pick. But good thing he wanted to start right off the bat because they got Tyrod. Moving on to number 7, Derrick Brown. Derrick Brown was picked up by the Panthers. They got to replace some interior guys. I think they lost McCoy. Derrick Brown's probably going to jump in there and be a day one starter. Day one starter. I think he's the best. He was the best interior D lineman in the draft. The Panthers picked him up to kind of secure up a spot, moved by Gerald McCoy. So with that being said, they got the guy to kind of fill those shoes. He's a handful. He's going to command double teams unless you got a dog center or guard, and he's going to eat up space for whoever they're getting to replace Luke Kuechly in the middle of the defense. Number 8. You have to do it like that. Okay, that's even better. Isaiah Simmons, the Swiss Army knife of the draft, can play on all 4 levels. Can be an edge guy, can play a linebacker for you, can play free safety, can play nickel, corner safety. He can do some of everything. He's a special talent. Former track guy, so he can run with receivers. He can run with running backs. When he gets sight set on quarterbacks, they don't outrun him. He's a do everything, be everything dude on defense, and I think Arizona's going to have a field day, putting him in different spots. Now, I don't know who's Arizona's DC, but their head coach is an offensive guy. So whoever the DC is, you got yourself a what's the main piece on the chessboard? The queen is the one that can move all different kind of ways. So you got yourself a chess queen to kind of put wherever you want. With the 9th pick, C.J. Henderson. C.J. Henderson went to Jacksonville Jaguars, and they pretty much got rid of everything. So they needed everything on defense. They needed up front help. They needed back end help. They just needed everything, which is a great pick. And Florida consistently put out good DBs. I didn't think CJ would be the second one off the board. I thought he'd be the 3rd, but still not a bad pick. Moving on to pick number 10. This is Willis. Jedrick Willis, Cleveland Browns. Baker was Cleveland's problem, in my opinion. Being antsy and delivering not accurate balls. So picking this guy up will help his confidence, and it's also going to help for that Pro Bowl running back they got. And I hate to say it because, I'm a Ravens fan, but this is a good pick for him. He's going to help that offense tremendously, even though they didn't need much help with the skill guys they got. But he's going to help settle the quarterback and then even add to that potent run game that they got with Nick Chubb. Number 11, the freak of the draft, Mekhi Becton. Mekhi Becton went to the Jets. Mekhi has very little – no, I don't want to say that about him. He doesn't have a lot of O-line technical nuance about him. He's just big and he just destroys people. Once he gets his techniques down and finds a way to play lower with leverage because he's so big, his feet going to allow him to do everything. He's going to be kicking butt in the NFL for a long time if he don't get hurt. I saw they dropped a clip of when he got drafted of him playing basketball, And man, his drop step was that of a guy with the same height, but maybe 100 pounds lighter, maybe 150 pounds lighter. And then they threw him a bounce pass. He caught that thing clean and went up and yammed it. That's the kind of athlete you got right there at 6'7", 6'8", about 360 or whatever he is. That was an athlete. Appreciate you, Carlo. Got a super chat got a $2 super chat. Carlo come through good. He come through all the time. I appreciate it. Thank you for the Queen vid and the nun athlete. Hey, I appreciate you, man. That Queen video I wanted to do it last night, but I was so tired. So I got up early this morning and started putting it together, and it still didn't act right like I wanted to do. So I might still be looking kind of sleepy because I woke up just in time to get this off. Let's go back to the top 32, the first round. Number 12, Henry Ruggs. Ruggs was the first receiver off the board. Who would have thought? Who would have thought? And I was telling somebody that the old regime, right before it happened, that the old regime for the Raiders loves speed. Not knowing that the new regime loves speed also. He's the fastest wide receiver in the class, and the Raiders love speed still, apparently, and they picked up Henry Ruggs. Next, Tristan Wirfs. Tristan Wirfs went to Tampa Bay, trying to get some protection for the GOAT down there. And finally, they didn't get protection for Jameis when he was there, but they got Tom Brady, and now they're trying to get some protection. So Wirfs is going to come in there and compete for a job. All right, next, Javon Kinlaw to the 49ers, I think. Yeah, to the 49ers, number 14. Kinlaw is going to come in and probably take the starting role from Buckner. I think Buckner's the one they lost. But Kinlaw is going to have the opportunity to come in and play right away and fill a role where he don't have to be the star because they got so many good guys, around it. That D-line is loaded. And look at those arms. Massive arms. That D-line is loaded, and they picked up Kinlaw to just wreak havoc on the NFC West. So I feel for Seattle. I feel for Kyler Murray, make sure you're in shape because they're going to chase you around all day, 2 times a year. And the Rams. Poor Jeff Goff. Whew. Poor Jeff Goff. So moving on. Jerry Jeudy went to, who did Jeudy go to? Denver, I think. Yeah, 15. Jerry Jeudy went to Denver. They got a good route runner. Got a good hands guy. In my opinion, the best receiver in the draft. Jerry Jeudy went to Denver, and they're helping their young quarterback with some weapons. They got they have a receiver that's pretty good right now. His name slips me. Starts with a C, I think. I think his last name starts with a C. I can't think his name. But they got a young quarterback from Missouri and Drew Lock. And Drew kind of tweeted the smirk emoji after they picked him up because he got a weapon. Drew Lock got the best receiver in the draft and at Denver. Next, CJ Terrell. CJ Terrell went to AJ Terrell, not CJ. AJ Terrell went to the Falcons. Now, this was the first head scratcher. AJ Terrell came off the board before Fulton and before Gladney. But the thing, in AJ Terrell's defense, everybody saw the national championship game where he got roasted. But Jamar Chase would roast every DB that got picked up yesterday. Every DB that got picked up yesterday, Jamar Chase would roast them. That's AJ Terrell, Gladney, Okudah, who else? CJ Henderson. Jamar Chase would roast all of them. So don't just think, just look at his last game as being his overall picture. Look at the whole thing. He's a good player. He just happened to run into a grown man in the national championship game. All right. Next up, CeeDee Lamb, 17, the Dallas Cowboys. I was on the stream with Vach, if you saw it. That's who he predicted starting maybe 6 weeks ago that the Cowboys would get. I never thought he would get that far, but he did. CeeDee Lamb made it to the Cowboys. They got probably the second best receiver in the draft, in my opinion. The second or third best receiver in the draft. And And he already showed he got sticky hands by snatching that phone back last night. He already showed the people in Dallas how good his hands is. Hey, give me that real quick. All right. So CeeDee Lamb went to the Cowboys, a great pick. Probably one of the best picks in the draft last night. I shout out to the Cowboys for doing their thing and really not mucking that one up. Next, Austin Jackson. Not Austin Jackson. Austin Jackson went to the Dolphins. So now they're trying to get help for their new quarterback. Even though I don't think Tua is going to see the field, but by the time Austin gets, his second year, he should be good to go. I think that was a big thing came out by him donating something to his sister. I don't know if it was bone marrow or something. And so by the time he wasn't full strength toward the end of the year, but look how big that guy is compared to the other guys around him. The tight end to his left, the guard to his right, and then the defensive players. He's massive. He's a massive kid. I don't know his measurables, but he's a massive kid. And that tackle, down in Miami, they need that help. They got 12 more picks to go. So I think they're starting off on a good foot. There probably were better tackles out there, but they needed O-line help and they went and got it. So next, this is the other corner from Ohio State, Damien Arnett to the Bears. No, to the Raiders. The Bears traded from this. So this to the Raiders. So the Raiders got speed and they got another corner, which I still didn't think this guy would come off the board before Fulton or Gladney. But they saw something they liked in him, and Ohio State got 1, 2. What pick is this? This is pick 19. They got 3 defensive players in the top 19. They got Okudah, Chase Young, and Arnett. So that's not a bad deal. Not a bad deal. Good recruit for Ohio State, too. Next, K'Lavon Chaisson. He's going to set the edge for somebody. He's going to cover people. And he's also going to be able to drop in zone coverage. Set the edge, cover, drop in zone coverage. He can do all that. I think he mentioned in a tweet or something that, would you want to hire somebody that speaks 1 language or 3? And he says he speaks 3. And that's rushing the passer, helping set the edge and run, and dropping into coverage. And K'Lavon went to Jacksonville. He gave a big Duval salute when he got interviewed last night. Next is a surprise for me. This is one of the head scratchers. Jalen Reagor goes to Philadelphia. But Philadelphia does need a speed guy. They do need a speed guy. I just didn't think Reagor would be that. And maybe his pro day got them back in the notion that they could use him because his time at the combine was a disappointment. His time at the combine was a disappointment. But they say he sped it up at this pro day. But in the pro days, them hand times are iffy. Them hand times iffy. But again, watching his highlight tape, kid can go. He can go. He can take slants to the crib. He can run by you. He can do a bunch of things. I don't know what his drop rate is, but I just thought other guys would come off before him. I thought Jefferson would come off before him. But still, this is not a bad pick. It's not a bad pick because they need a speed guy. Reagor's a speed guy. The only other speedy guy that's left that hadn't been picked yet is Hamler. So the 3 top fastest guys, 2 of them are gone, and that's Ruggs, Reagor, and then KJ Hamler's still out there. Maybe getting picked up today. Next, Justin Jefferson. This is the second, if not third, best receiver in this draft class. He's so versatile. He plays the slot at LSU. But if you take your outside guy and put him in motion and leave him one-on-one with a corner, he's going to eat him alive. Maybe not initially because he's going to be a rookie. But once he gets the speed of the game and the nuances of how NFL teams or DBs are going to play him, it's going to eat him up. Part of the reason why Burrow had the success he had 18 of those touchdowns Joe Burrow threw. Chase had 20 of them. It was a good pickup for me, well, in my opinion, by the Minnesota Vikings, replacing Diggs. Next, Kenny Murray, one of the guys the Ravens were targeting. Kenny Murray went to the Chargers, Los Angeles Chargers, and Kenny Murray won't be touched all year long. Melvin Ingram, Bosa, Kenny Murray might approach 100 tackles as a rookie. If he can get in the starting lineup, he might approach 100 tackles as a rookie because up front they got guys. You got to double Bosa. Yeah, Ingram is a dog. I think they got a one tech that's pretty good. I can't think his name. Kenny Murray gonna have room to roam. He's going to have room to roam. All right. Next, Cesar Ruiz. I think the Saints reached for this. And the Saints drafted a center last year. So this is one of the head scratchers for me. I don't know what they were thinking or maybe they trying to get depth or I don't know. I think this was the first go gadget reach of the draft. And I had this big debate with Ruiz and Cushenberry. I thought Cushenberry was going to go before him. So I do need to reiterate that in all my sayings about Ruiz, I never said he sucked. I just thought Cushenberry was better. And the more I watched Ruiz, the more I thought that gap closed between Cushenberry and Ruiz. I still think Cushenberry is better, but Ruiz is a damn good football player. Ruiz was a damn good football player. Arnett was a reach too, Brandon. Yeah, Arnett was a reach too. All right. This was a reach. This was a reach. This was a reach. But they love him. 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 His highlight tape is great. I thought he was just I didn't think he was a top 5 receiver. I just didn't. Going to the 49ers to replace they lost Sanders to New Orleans, I think. They got Debo there. They got this guy now. I'm not sure what other receivers they got. But he's Sanders-like. He's Sanders-like. And to me, I'm learning more that the picks are based off need and skill set. Pick a need and skill set. So not necessarily the best player. Some of these picks are need and skill set. If that is San Francisco like it, I love it. We're at what? 25, 26. If you really want to piss Aaron Rodgers off, you just did. So not only look out Chicago Bears, look out Minnesota, look out who else in that division? Chicago, Minnesota, Green Bay. Who else is in that division with them? I know it's one more team. Detroit. If you look out those 3 teams, you about to get a pissed off Aaron Rodgers. I don't know what to say. You about to get a pissed off Aaron Rodgers. They picked up Jordan Love from Utah State. Love's an okay QB. I didn't think the Green Bay would go there. And I know Rodgers is 36. But still, and I'm like Stephen A. Smith, Aaron Rodgers is a bad man. And this kid got pretty good skill set. And today should have been a great day for him by being drafted in the first round. But all the talk has been about the message that Green Bay is sending to Aaron Rodgers by picking him up. Nobody really celebrating this kid. And he should be celebrated by earning himself, making himself a first round draft pick. But the whole narrative, and even myself, I just did it myself. I made it about Aaron Rodgers instead of celebrating Love. And I apologize to you for that, Jordan. I should have talked about you and not lead with Aaron Rodgers. But he's a good kid, fairly athletic. And the thing I like about a lot of these quarterbacks coming out, they are willing runners. They're not just going to stand there and just be on a certain spot. They're going to move around. be agile, can throw on the run. And I see Garnett says something about the 5th-year option. Well, hell, Aaron Rodgers probably going to still be there in 5 years. Because I still think he throws the ball better. He throws the ball better than Tom Brady. So I think in another 4 years, his arm going to be still stronger than Tom Brady's arm is right now. So I think Aaron Rodgers is going to still be in another 5 years. But who knows? NFL. Who knows? Who knows? The new staff and they got a new GM too. They may want their own people in there. And you know how that stuff goes. Next. Seattle Seahawks. And I'm not scratching my head because Jordan Brooks is a bad player. I'm scratching my head because the Seahawks should have either gotten somebody to replace Clowney or gotten Russell Wilson some darn help up front. And I said this last night. They are doing Russell Wilson a disservice by not getting him some O-line to protect him. They're banking on that man being able to run around and make plays and do all this stuff. Get that man some help up front so he can be there for you for a while. That's but Jordan Brooks from Texas Tech went to Seattle, which is fine for me. You know, I'm speaking from a Seattle Seahawks right now, Seattle Seahawks standpoint. But from a Ravens standpoint, heck yeah, it's great. So this is what happened. And I think in my top 9, I put Isaiah Simmons at linebacker. But if Isaiah Simmons would not be classified as a linebacker, this was the best linebacker in the draft to me, Patrick Queen. And we got him. Got him at Baltimore. And I put out a video earlier. If you haven't seen it, please go check it out. Actually got 2 videos out on him. I put one out a long time ago on him, and then I put the one out today, but since he's a Baltimore Raven now. Next is, I forget this kid's name. He's the other tackle from Georgia. So look at the 2 behemoth Georgia had at tackle. This is Isaiah Wilson. This is the other tackle. So this dude, and they had the other kid's name. What's his name? Andrew Thomas. Georgia got 2 first-round tackles in the draft. Two. So Jake from State Farm could just sit there and pat it, throw to the one receiver he had because he only had one receiver, and then hand it off to Swift. So the 2 Bigfoots that Georgia had at tackles are now in the NFL. Both of them, both first-round picks. And Swift probably should have been a first-round pick, but, you know, running backs devalued, except for 6'4", 270 Clyde. Next. All right, let me see if I can get this right. I got to look at it to make sure I try to pronounce it right. Noah Igbenage. I know I still messed it up. But he got picked by the Packers. No, I'm talking about the Dolphins. The Dolphins got that pick from the Packers by the Dolphins. So the Dolphins got Tua, they got a tackle, and they got a cornerback. I didn't think it would be this guy. I thought it may be Fulton or Gladney or something like that. But they got quarterback, tackle, win defense here with a cornerback. All right. Now the second best man guy comes off the board to me for Minnesota. Minnesota lost a bunch of their. Is this Minnesota? Yeah, Minnesota lost a bunch of their cornerbacks this year. I think they got the second best corner. I think he's like 5'10" maybe, but he fights. He's right up under Okudah as far as his man-to-man skills. And even if you go check out the Texas game, if you get a chance, if I got any Vikings fans in here, check out the Texas game. They had Colin, their tall receivers, Colin, I think he was number 6. And he caught a pass on Gladney early in the game and kind of talked some smack. Rest of the game, clank, clank, lock down, lock him up. Rest of the game. Gladney's a dog. And now we're going to pick 32. 6'4", 270. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Probably not the best back in the draft, but probably the most versatile. Catch the ball, block, run, line up at slot receiver, tough, gritty, don't mind doing the dirty work. Look at that stiff arm. Look at that stiff arm. Look at that stiff arm. And he's so confident in stiff arm, he ain't got to look at it because he know he about to explode and run away. And if you have not seen this game, LSU and Alabama, he pretty much willed them to that victory late because Alabama was making a run in the second half. They were making a run. They got number 6. I forget number 6 name for Alabama, the receiver, but he got Stingley twice in that game. All right. Oh, before I move on, Dre, I see you in the chat box. Garnett's in the chat box also. Garnett's who you need to talk to about getting into the Madden League I'm in. So Garnett, Dre, Garnett, y'all need to hook up. So that's who wanted to get in the Madden League. Garnett, Dre Mason down there. All right, but let me run through this chat box real quick because those are the picks. Matter of fact, let me tell you who I got film on first, just in case you knew here. I got film on Clyde, not Gladney, not Noah, not Wilson. Got film on Queen. No film on Brooks, but he was in my top 99. Not on Love. I got film on Ayuk. Ruiz. I got film on Murray. I got film on Jefferson. None on Rager. Got film on Chason. Not Arnett. Not Austin. Not on CeeDee Lamb. I don't know how I skipped over doing film on CeeDee Lamb. None on AJ Terrell. Jerry Jeudy I do. Kinlaw I don't. Worst I don't. Ruggs I do. Becton I don't. Willis I don't. CJ I don't. Simmons I do. I did a joint video with Marlon Davidson and Derek Brown. Herbert I don't. Tua I don't. I forget his name, but I don't. And then if you want to watch my Swift video, both tackles are on that Swift video. Kuda, I have a film. Chase, I have a film. And Joe Burrows, I have a film. So all those guys I got films on. All right. So let's go to the chat box. See if I got a few questions so I can get up out of here before and give me a little break before we go live with the other guys. Let's see. Any questions? Here we go. Do you think there is any chance we trade up for Xavier McKinney if he falls a little more? I don't think so. I don't think safety is going to be the top priority today. I think the top priority today is going to be wide receiver, interior O-line. Wide receiver and interior O-line. All right. And if a receiver is not there they may go another route because the receiver class is deep. All right. Or an edge guy. Or maybe an edge guy. Cardinals acting like they don't need time. Right. Sin City, appreciate you coming back through, homie. Yo, what's up? Cowboys, Cushenberry, 51. Man, the Cowboys take Cushenberry 51, I'm going to be so hurt. Because I want him at 55. If the Cowboys take Cushenberry at 51, I'd be so hurt. Because I want him at 55. Let's see what else we got. Work's going to start. You don't trade up for a backup. Right. You're right. I want to ask Cushenberry upgrade from McGovern. It's tough to say that right now. Because I really like Cushenberry. Connor McGovern's okay. But I really like Cushenberry at center. And I'm going to tell you one of the reasons I like Cushenberry so much at center. A lot of centers in the NFL don't have arm length. And so when they get longer, one techniques or noses that can extend the foam, they can't keep their hands on them. But Cushenberry's arm is just as long as most tackles, like offensive tackles. So it ain't gonna be a lot of that pressing out and looking around because he's gonna be right there with you, still fighting, making you do more than what you need to do to try to find the ball. So that's an intangible that Cushenberry has that a lot of people don't know about. And but it's one of the reasons why I'm so heavy on cushion beds. Let's see. Oh, y'all was having cowboy combo in my chat box. he donated bone marrow to his sister, so that was the tackle from USC. Yannick replacement as Chason. Let's see what we got here. Hey, coach, I feel like we need to draft another middle linebacker. That's why. Yeah, we need another linebacker. I don't know if I forgot it's 2 rounds today. It's 2 rounds today. So, okay, that's 4 picks. I forgot about that. That's 4 picks. So that's interior O-line, receiver, edge, another linebacker. I forgot it's 2. We get 4 picks today. So, yeah, that's 2. Another linebacker, a receiver, an edge guy, interior O-line. So, yeah, I agree with you. We definitely need another linebacker. And since we got Queen, in my eyes, since we have Queen, Willie Gay, Malik Harrison, or trade back later and find the only other thumper I think in here is Logan Wilson. But we got a cover speed run around guy. So that takes Troy Dye out. So and y'all know I'm a big fan of Troy Dye. But we need a thumper now. We need a thumper. What up, Rob Smoke? Going ahead, glad you came through. Let's see what we got here. Let's see. CJ Cush, Rager is not that much faster than Jefferson, but he's quicker and can accelerate the top speeds fast. Yeah, he's twitchy. Rager real twitchy. I think Justin Jefferson has a little more long speed, but Rager is real twitchy. Let's see what we got. On that, definitely was a reach. I wouldn't mind getting Marlon Davidson. I wouldn't mind. I picked up Marlon Davidson in my mock draft. What day was that? What was that? Tuesday I did a mock draft. Tuesday night maybe I did a mock draft. So I ain't saying they lied at the pro day. But at the combine, everybody's on the same plane. At the pro day, you got a guy. He got to do that. So human error can come in. The guy got a stopwatch. Human error can come in. Jalen Hurts, Marquise Goodwin, Jalen Hurts, other receivers. Okay. For San Francisco, that's who we talking about right here? San Francisco? Because Jalen Hurts, I like Jalen Hurts last year. Dante Pettis. So, yeah, we talking about San Francisco. And I think that's about it. For the questions. Guys, remember, make sure. See y'all we watching. That's a good one. His goodness. That's a good one. Let's see where we at. So I got y'all connected with the Madden League. Got y'all connected there. Any news on Zach Bond and his diluted urine drug test? Anything to do with it, or he was drinking a lot? I don't know. All I know is Outkast said the people at the post office don't call you back when you got cloudy piss. And that's what he got. Raekwon Davis at 6. I like Raekwon. Was Higgins the first rounder for me? Could have been. Higgins will excel for a team that doesn't necessarily have a extremely accurate QB because he has a huge catch radius. He don't have to run great routes, which would help though. But his catch radius is so big that a QB that's not the most accurate he'd excel in that. And then if he mess around and went to a team with an accurate QB, he'd probably be Pro Bowl in 2 or 3 years. Let's see. I think that's about it. Yeah, I like Higgins. We just talked about that. So who fumbled a lot? That's gonna be the last part. Who you talking about fumbled a lot, Sin City? What we got? What we doing on time? So we got 20 minutes before we start. So guys, make sure you go and check out. I don't know if we're gonna be on Sonny's channel or Joe Nubo's channel, but you'll have me, Sonny, Joe Nubo. I think Eaton Raven's coming. I think the guys from Birdland BS. So we're just gonna have a bunch of Ravens guys come together and do our thug thizzle. And then we finish. If anybody's still up, I'm gonna jump around and do some things. I took a nap. Probably gonna be up for a while. And this is gonna be a little longer day than last night, but we got more voices to go around and more opinions to be heard. So you guys come through, show some love. And I appreciate you. Let me see what this one before we get up out of here. As a Raiders fan, I went and watched on this film, and I honestly don't see why he wasn't rated higher. Drogue Bear. I think when the dust settles, not today, but I'm gonna go back and watch this film too, because I maybe overlooked him. I maybe overlooked him. L. Anderson. I'm a huge fan of DJ Dallas because I'm a huge fan of Miami. So that I would like that too. But if we're gonna get a running back, I would like it to be Cam. If we're gonna get a running back, I'd like it to be Cam Akers. I really would. All right. So with that being said, I'm definitely in there like swimwear and new gear. All right, Carlo, we're gonna end it on this right here. We're gonna end on this right there. Carlos say he definitely gonna be there, and he's in there like swimwear and new gear. And I'll see you guys in about 20 minutes. It's Coach Evans. See you when I see you. Peace.